Hey, backyard gardeners, what's up? It's Jay, and today we're going to be planting some sweet cherry tomatoes. They're such a great thing to add to your garden because they're so good and so sweet. We're going to be basically hanging them up a string trellis, which is right behind me. I'll show you how to do it. And also, I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions how to plant them and fertilize them and get them so they have a really strong root system so they'll give you a plentiful harvest. So let's get into it. Let's have some fun. I'm basically doing this on the side of my house, so you don't really need a big space to do it, and it's possible to do it in your own backyard. So let's go ahead and let's do it. Let's grow.
All right, so this is basically the little side part of my house, and I have 3 raised beds in here, 1, 2, and 3. So in the second one here and the third one there is when I'm going to be planting the indeterminate cherry tomatoes. This first one here, I'm going to be planting the SunGold cherry tomatoes, and the second one are going to be the Super Sweet 100 cherry tomatoes, and they're both excellent. And this is basically constructed from just regular 2x8s or 2x10s that you get at Home Depot. In the corner, I have one post. It's a 4x4 post. And I'll be honest with you, when I get this wood, I get it from the 70% off cart. Actually, I put a little post here in the middle too because these do tend to try to separate. But anyway, I get this from the discounted cart over at Home Depot, and it's the one, look for the purple paint, it's 70% off because it has some kind of imperfection, a split in it. It's bent really bad. When I'm making these raised beds, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. Actually, you could kind of see, I think you could, yeah, that's the purple paint right there. Right there. So anyway, those are just 2x4s. Let's say they're probably 2x4 by 10 foot. And that's my trellis system. They kind of go up like, it looks like a staple. They go up and it's an upside down U. And I have these strings that I had these up here for quite a few years, so they're kind of old. Anyway, I have the strings tied up there, and the trellis system comes down here. And what I do is I stake it into the ground like that. I'm going to show you a quick simulation. And I plant the tomato plant there and trellis it right up with some clamps. So I put 4 plants in here, and I just picked up a clamp off the ground. This is what the clamps look like. I'll show you how to use those later. But anyway, I have a compost pile in the backyard, and I just put a whole bunch of really nice compost, and it's beautiful. And I expect these tomato plants to grow really well. And if you see this is actually my little irrigation system. I already have it set up because I use the same irrigation line in this box every year. Even if I'm going to switch plants, still works out. So that's why it's already set up. I just put that in there the other day, and I put it in this one. This is a 3rd box here, but this box here, I'm going to put something totally different. I haven't figured that out yet. I think I might put peas. I do have chickens, and they really love peas, so I might put the peas in there just for them. That'll be their little box. But these 2 are going to be tomatoes. I'm going to put some flowers across the front of them, for pollinator, for the pollination. And it's pretty cool when you have gardens, like little things pop up. I got 2 little random cilantro plants. No, actually there's like one right there, 2, 3. There's actually one back there too. So that's pretty cool. So I got myself some cilantro. This is from last year. It's been pretty hot. If you notice, if you see the flowers on the top there, they're actually trying to flower already. See the flower right there? So I'll pull these off. They're trying to, they're small. They're trying to flower because the cilantro doesn't really like all this super heat. And it's been kind of hot and cold on and off. So, but anyway, I put little LED little lamps out here. So at nighttime, I could see all the little critters out here eating all my plants. No, I'm just kidding. It makes the walkway a little nicer at night. This looks kind of gloomy back here right now, but soon this is going to look really amazing. And I'm going to go over some of this stuff in another video, but this is kind of like the irrigation turnoff. I have basically on this side, the main one comes in here. Then I have 4 different zones that you could turn on and off right here. And these are like drip lines. I do have a couple of sprinklers, but these are drip lines. These are the sprinklers right here. You basically put these in there and it forms like a sprinkle. You know, it depends. You could actually adjust it right here on the top. And this is stuff that you could just buy at like Lowe's. This is the drip line here. So there's going to be an emitter here and another one here. So it's like basically every like 12 inches there's an emitter. So I could put a plant here, there, and so on. Depends on. Now this is more of an irrigation line. This right here is just a poly tubing, and you actually put in your own fittings in there to, you know, wherever you have plants. So like I said, I have this set up from the last couple of years because you know, I use the same, you know, why, you know, you buy it once, why keep buying it? You know, I use the same ones over. And if I don't have a plant, I could also take this hose out and put a cap there. So that's easy enough. But anyway, so that's enough about the beds. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to construct. I think this bed, I would say it's probably about 18 inches high. So it's probably two 2x8s or 2x10 and 2x8. I forget exactly. It's been like, you know, this is like 4 or 5 years I've had this so far, and they lasted that long. And a little 4x4 in the corner here. You know, I get a couple of these screws here. Those are the deck screws, so they don't rust. So you can make yourself a really easy raised bed. And then, you know, just make sure you put good soil in it. Okay, let's get this first tomato plant planted. So like I said, we're doing Super Sweet 100s. These are those nice cherry tomatoes. Like the name says, super sweet. But anyway, I am using a fertilizer. I want to put that in the hole first. And this is a 573. So basically 5 is for the leaves and the structure, the outside structure of the plant, the greenery. 7 would be for fruit production or flowering, which we want the middle number to be a little higher because of the tomatoes. And 3 is just for like the overall plant absorption of nutrients and water and everything, how it functions basically. So what I'm going to do is this stuff smells wonderful. Not really. Anyway, I'm going to put a scoop of this inside the hole and just put a little bit, kind of just mix it in with a regular soil, just so it's not directly right onto the roots. And then I have a second thing. It's called mycorrhizal inoculant. I never say that right, but got it pretty good. And this is for root development. This basically helps the fungus, you know, in the soil grow with the roots to make a strong root system. So, all right. So let me go ahead and open this bag here. Do yourself a favor in the future, like my future self, like when I made these raised beds, I didn't make it so I could get around all the way on all 4 sides. Boy, it would be so much easier if I could get on all 4 sides. I only could kind of go in the front or the side. It is up against a fence, so to my defense, originally when I was making these. So, but anyway, let me go ahead and get the plant out here. And look at this nice structure of roots here. It's not even root bound. It looks really, really, really good. And I'm just going to sprinkle this right onto the roots and let it fall in the hole. And let's go ahead and get this buried. And these plants look really good. And I hope you guys are having fun growing your own plants. I mean, even if you're starting off and you just happen to buy the plants this year, you know, in the future, maybe think about trying to grow your own. All right, so I have some Kirkland chocolate cover raisins. No, I'm just kidding. I use a container for my my clamps. I get these on Amazon. These are the tomato clamps, and they work pretty good. They kind of clamp like this, and there's little teeth right in the middle here that clamp on the wire, and then they clip together. And you could unclip them. If you clip them like that, see how it stays? You could push this here and it unclips. You know, as the sun hits them, they get a little harder to clip and unclip. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this first clip on here, and I'm putting it underneath one of the support branches. So it's literally laying right on this branch right here underneath it. It's probably one of the safer places to put it. And I'm going to put another one basically right under this other big support branch. So we're looking pretty good already. I'm going to put another one up top here. All right, let's see. Let me put it right here. Make sure I get it clamped onto the wire so it doesn't slide down. I don't know if you guys can see this in the camera. Hopefully you can. But anyway, so I got this all clamped up. And I will come back here and probably trim some of these leaves on the bottom because they're not really needed all the way down at the bottom here. I don't have my clippers on me right now. And I'm just going to put a little bit more of the fertilizer on the top. Just like this. Get this leaf out of the way. Man, this stuff stinks, but it works great. It's just an organic, so it's got some kind of smelly poop in it or something. It's probably chicken, which I'll have my own chicken manure coming up. I don't have that yet because it's got a kind of compost still. Anyway, so look, that's nice and planted. Like I said, I'm going to trim up some of these bottom branches here so it's clean and you get a lot of airflow through the bottom here, because you don't really want a lot of clumpy branches down here, down low, because it just invites problems down the road. So, all right, so we got the first one planted. We actually got a couple little tomatoes here already. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's move on.
All right, so it's basically just rinse and repeat with the rest of these 3 other tomato plants. And I did the same on the next box over with the SunGold cherries. Did the same thing. I didn't want to show you twice because it's too repetitive. But just to go back on the importance of fertilization, there is a value of N as in Nancy, P as in Peter, K as in Kelly, NPK. I'm using the value of 357, and what that means, it's a lower nitrogen. So tomatoes, they'll like to grow a lot of green leaves, and you don't want too many of them. You want them to put the energy into the fruit. So therefore it has a higher P, which is phosphorus for the flowering, because they flower. And then the K is the potassium, which really helps the fruit and the roots and everything like that. So you have nice big juicy tomatoes. So that's why I have 357. It gives a little bit more phosphorus, a little bit more potassium, because these tomato plants have plenty of nitrogen in the soil right now. If it was like a lettuce or something like that, you would want more nitrogen. So, but that's why it's important to fertilize. You'll get a better outcome on your garden. And also when I use that mycorrhizal inoculant, that's also another thing a lot of people don't know about. You put that around on the roots, and it really does help those roots just kind of grow into the soil. And inside the soil, the roots basically work with the fungus in the soil, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And it helps just the soil kind of mend to the roots, and the roots start growing out, and you get a really strong root system. And these tomato plants, the roots really stretch out really far, so you want them to be nice and strong. So making these raised beds, it's like it hardly cost me any money to make these, because I did get all the wood discounted from Home Depot on that cart. You look for the discounted cart in the lumber area. It has purple paint on it. If you don't know, just ask somebody. But, where's that discounted cart with the purple paint on it? Even like right here, I'm planting these marigolds. Like, I used to buy all this stuff, and it costs so much money. By the time you buy the marigolds, you buy fertilizer, you buy other plants. I can't see buying any of that stuff when I could just grow it myself. You buy a couple dollars worth of seeds, and you might spend like $50 in seeds, but you get so many plants, so many different kinds of plants. I didn't basically grow my own stuff all right away. It took a couple of years to figure it out, and every year I just added on, planting new items. Like 1 year it just came to my mind, why am I buying pumpkins around like Thanksgiving time when I could just grow my own, load up my whole front porch with pumpkins? Who wants to go out and spend $50 to $80 on pumpkins? I'll grow my own, and I could grow whatever I want. I don't have to just get what the store has, the pumpkins that rot in like 4 days. So that's another big benefit of just growing your own stuff. So that's why I'm making these videos, so you guys can see how easy it is to grow your own stuff. Even to grow the basil and all the different spices and stuff like that. Like if you want to grow oregano or anything like that, why buy it? You could just buy the seeds. All right, let me recap. And this is that really beautiful, huge, giant sunflower. I had to stake it just to support it, because sometimes the head on the sunflowers gets so big. We went through and we pruned all the tomato plants to open up the whole bottom area of the tomatoes on all of them, so they're nice, and the sun will get into the the bottom of the plant, as well as air, and it just prevents any disease or rotting. And we put some really nice marigolds in here too. These are all ones that we grew from seed, and our basil, very good companion plants. And this is just a cilantro plant that was from last year, and then some more of the marigolds. We kind of put them all the way down for the pollinators, and we did put them on this drip line here, and everywhere there's a flower, there's actually you see that little dot right here, that's where the water comes out. So every one of them has a little area right there. See, there's another one there, and just basically slowing down the line. That's what a drip line does, it's just like every 12 inches. And then, like I explained to you earlier, that is an irrigation system, which I have to put the little stake on it, and it just holds it up here and just drips water basically right at the base of the plant, which you want it. You don't want it to get over the leaves and everything. But these plants are looking really good. Look at this fruit plant right here. All of them have fruit already growing on them, so they all look really good. And over here to the SunGold cherries, already went through and pruned all the bottom branches off of here and got them all cleaned up on everyone. But look at the tomatoes on this one. This one's ready to go. These tomatoes are so amazing. And the same thing. Now these marigolds, these are ones I got from M.I. Gardner, and I'm pretty excited about them. It's supposed to be like a really cool color, and these are just basically like your regular yellow and gold marigolds. They get pretty big though, these plants. And then this is actually a chamomile plant I had from last year. It's a perennial. Down here I got the basil plants, looking really good. And I think the name of these marigolds are called tangerines. I think it's the name of them. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. This also has the irrigation system, and then also the drip lines. So that's it. Got these two planted, and I'm just going to take a shot of them like this, and you'll see a big difference coming up. Now let's go ahead and water them in. This is kind of a relaxing part of the process here. I like to water these in nice and good just in the beginning, even though they have the drip lines on them. I like just the first nice big drink be a deep one. So I'll go through and just hit these quite a few times. I'll go back and forth. And I'll go do the other bed, same way, a couple times. All right. So I had a great time making this video for you. It was really tough because it rained for like a week straight. But anyway, this is some of the stuff that I'll show you some pictures what to expect, and that is it. So with healthy soil, the right nutrients, having good irrigation, and smart pruning, your cherry tomato gardens will be full of a bountiful harvest. So if you found this helpful, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more garden tips. Maybe leave a comment, and we will see you next time.